Mr. Adamson, fascinating talk today. Thank you so very much for joining us. Who would you say Europe is in 2016?
Well, Europe, if you mean the European Union, is going through a real existential crisis. It has many problems, it has a lack of self-confidence, it seems to be fragmenting. We have issues like Brexit, the divorce from the UK and the EU, we have the ongoing migration crisis, the Eurozone crisis is still there, and so on and so on. So at the moment, Europe feels very vulnerable and very concerned about its own future, and I think its ongoing existence should not be taken for granted either.
What is the most serious current challenge to transatlantic relations?
I think the biggest current crisis potentially facing transatlantic relations is the fact that both sides of the Atlantic, we take the relationship for granted. It's been there for so long that we think it'll be there forever, and I think we should not assume that necessarily, especially given the current economic and political climate. Let's hope with a new election, new president in the White House, in a few weeks' time, things will change. But at the moment, I think we need to give a bit of a reboot to the EU-US relationship. That can take many forms: more cooperation in the political sphere, obviously, more dialogues between legislators and politicians, more cooperation in the business sphere, in the economic sphere. But I'm hopeful that we can make that reboot effective and without any kind of controversy.
How can the United Kingdom secure the best terms possible upon invoking Article 50?
I think the United Kingdom, when it starts to evoke Article 50 in the spring of next year, if all goes according to our Prime Minister, Mrs May's plan, is to change tack dramatically. In other words, stop talking about, in effect, terms, red lines, conditions which actually lead automatically to a so-called hard Brexit, where we fall out of the single market, etc., because we cannot countenance any kinds of constraints on what we think should be controls of free movement. I think the government is playing a rather high-risk game, and they're finding, I think, day by day, that not only the economics don't stack up, and we see the fall in the value of the pound, etc., announcements about declines in investment, decisions by major corporations, and so on, but also on the other side of the channel, the EU27, the rest of the member states of the European Union minus UK, are holding together. They have shown great cohesion and they don't want to break ranks, and they're going to make the United Kingdom see reality, in my view. That's a personal view as much as an insightful, wise view.
Thank you for speaking with us today.